So in this video, I am going to take the School of Photography's hero image. Now this image is going to be the background of our stand at the photography show, which I'll tell you about in a second, and also on our website, all right? And I'm going to obviously run you through it, teach you some things, and tell you how you can win this camera here, the Fuji XT-50, plus a Manfrotto tripod, plus a low pro camera bag, plus a leaf filter kit, and loads of other things. £3,000 worth of equipment that you can win for free. I'll tell you about that at the end of this video. So we're at the photography show, and to promote our presence there, I'm going to take the picture live for you now that we are going to put on the background of our stand. This picture is going to be massive, like bigger than me. And if you're coming to the photography show, you can come and see us, all right? So for this picture, what I wanted was a vintage look, like a timeless type look. And I wanted people to recognize the image as a photography image straight away, and for people that know us well to recognize it as a TSOP image. So the idea is this. We're going to use Rosie. If you've been following us for many years now, you will know who Rosie is. We call her the face of TSOP. She's going to turn up later. She's in our book. She's in our studio lighting courses. She's on our YouTube videos. She's a fantastic model. So we're going to use her because she is recognized as a TSOP model, I suppose. As a prop, I've got this really cool £4 camera that I bought off of eBay, and I'm going to get Rosie to hold that so that people can recognize it as a photography thing. And I'm going to go for a studio setting so I can get the picture absolutely crisp. So firstly, let's talk to you about the equipment that I'm going to use. I'm going to use the actual camera brand and model that you are going to win at the photography show if you come and see us and enter the free prize draw. Now, like I said, you've got £3,000 worth of equipment to win. All you need to do is come to the photography show and see us. The camera that Fuji have kindly provided is this one here, the XT-50. It's absolutely beautiful, a lovely little camera for beginners and photography enthusiasts alike. The one that you could win is going to be coming with the 16-50 f2.8 lens, but for this shoot, I'm actually going to be using the prime lens, the 50mm f1 prime lens that Fuji has sent me. When you get sent that lens, you've got to use it. It's absolutely fantastic. So I'm actually going to use that lens on this camera for today's shoot. I'm going to use a softbox. Now I've got two types that I might use. I'm going to start off with this one, which is just a standard rectangular softbox. It's been double diffused and it's on a studio flash head up there. And then on the other side over here, I've got a simple white reflector, and I'm just going to be moving that in and out just to see the effects and obviously fill in the shadow areas on this side of the face. And the other thing that I think I'm going to use is maybe a silver or a white reflector underneath Rosie here to bounce light up. I'm only going for a head and shoulders look because I want it to be impactful, okay? For the background, because I'm going for a vintage look, I've got this kind of textured brownie type background. I've also got some atmosphere in a can that I may or may not use depending on how it's going, and I might spray that behind Rosie, and then I've got a background light over there and I might fire that off during the picture and hopefully give some texture in the background. Might not use that. This shoot is going to be a little bit experimental, as a matter of fact. As for the settings, because I'm in a studio, I use the lowest native ISO on the camera that you're using. In this case, it's 125. The shutter speed, you want to be setting to the flash sync of the camera. Now, that can be up to 2/50th of a second. It all depends on the camera, but generally, if you just stick to 125th of a second, you know, that's good to go. So I'm just going to stick this camera on 125th of a second. And then when it comes to the aperture, I've actually got to look as I take the picture. I'm thinking f2.8 to f4, but if I can go a bit more shallower, because I've got the f1 lens there, I might do. But you know, you want to get that depth of field through the face. So she's going to be holding the camera She's going to have a hat on, and you need that sharpness through the eyeball, through the camera, right the way to probably about here on the head. So I'm thinking f2.8, f4. Again, I'm going to have to experiment with that when Rosie turns up. Now, before Rosie turns up and I take this fantastic picture, fingers crossed, don't forget, if you want to learn photography, if you want to learn studio lighting, we've got a whole course on studio lighting over at theschoolofphotography.com. We teach you beginners photography, Photoshop, Lightroom, wildlife photography, macro, landscape, headshot photography. I mean, we've got so many courses over there. And if you're looking to improve your photography, please come over and see us at theschoolofphotography.com, where you can learn from our courses and join in on our photography community. So all we've got to do now is wait for Rosie to arrive and let the experimenting begin. Rosie has arrived. Here she is. As you can see, we've got her with like a vintage type hat. Now, I'm not a fashion expert, as you can clearly see. So I have to rely on Rosie for this kind of stuff. We've got a vintage hat on. We've just got a nice plain white shirt on for now. And then we've got some other clothes out there if we feel we need to change them later. Rosie, show that cool camera. It's called an Ilford Sportsman. Like I said, £4 off eBay. You can't really argue with that. That's going to be the prop. I've got others, but that's what we're going to start for now. Now, all I need to do is do a lighting test. So, yeah, Rosie, if you could just stand just behind that there. We are going to have to now switch these filming lights off, I'm afraid. And then I'm going to switch my flash head on and do some lighting tests. Right, I've got my exposure. So my current settings are 125th of a second, f5.6, ISO 125. And don't forget, because we're using flash equipment, that you need to set the white balance on your camera to flash as well. And I'm shooting in RAW, obviously. I'm just going to take a test shot and then I'm going to get myself set up for that. Okay, here we go. Okay, the eye is sharp. The camera is sharp. Because of the background that I'm using there, it already looks a bit blurry, so that's all right. And that's it, really. So I'm happy with this outfit, and I've experimented with a few different poses as well, which actually didn't work. The pose that I had in mind right at the start works, which is the camera in sort of portrait mode, you know, and look, one eye open, the lens there. That is probably the best pose, I think, for what we want for this particular shot. Remember, you know, it's the feeling that we want. We want it to look like it's the School of Photography. Rosie's face does that job. We want it to look like it's photography. We've got an old vintage camera, and we want it to be timeless, you know, vintage camera, vintage clothing, etc. So what I'm going to do, though, is change the look of Rosie. So different hats, different tops, and just see which one works the best. And it's as simple as that, really. So, Rosie, let's start with the hats that you've brought with you, and we'll go from there. So, we're going to change outfits now and see how that works. We've already spoken about, I don't know what it's called, but I know what it's got lace down there and whatever. It looks really nice. And I've also actually got this stuff called atmosphere in a can, right? You can buy it, you spray it, and it creates like a smoke effect. Now, I'm going to use that at the end, because if we start spraying it around now, well, you can imagine it's going to go all over the studio. So towards the end, when we've decided on what outfit we like the best, that's when I'm going to get that stuff out. I'm going to spray it in the background, and we're going to light it from behind, and hopefully just see what happens, really. So yeah, so Rosie, if you want to get that outfit on, the other outfit. As you can see, we have a new outfit for Rosie. Always trust the judgment of Rosie. I forget this because this is Rosie's idea of an outfit, and it does look really cool. and it actually really matches that background. So, you know, fingers crossed this is all gonna come out all right. So let's just take a few shots, just standard like this, please. Same as before. Up, you know, camera up to the eye. Yeah, I think we're into something, yeah. I think that we're getting somewhere. I'm gonna put a hair light in to try and jazz things up. Not that we can see the hair, but it's just I'm gonna put it there, basically where you are there, and just see if I can put some sort of highlight down the side. And that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna set that up now, okay? So the idea is to try and put some light around this side of the face. So we've got the soft light coming from that side. I'm just going to see what a bit of hard light does coming in from this side. I'll experiment with the power of it as I take the pictures, but for now I'm just going to leave it on its lowest power. And again, you want to learn studio lighting course, we've got it all for you there. And I have to make sure that these barn doors here barns off where I'm going to stand, because otherwise I'm going to get lens flare. So I can actually see the videographers are standing there, so I can actually use them. I'm going to barn that off there. I'm going to barn it off the ceiling, because you don't want light bouncing back off the ceiling and coming down. So I'm going to barn it off the ceiling, and I'm literally going to focus it on Rosie, just like that. And you never know, it might come out all right. That's nice, it gives another dimension. Just got a nice little rim light going round the side there. I lifted the light a bit more as well, so it hit the top of the hat there, and it just gives us another option. So let's take a few shots. Okay, there we go. I'm going to do an experiment. I'm going to turn that round to black and then get a really dark side. So as you can see, I've now changed it from a white reflector to black, which effectively will not reflect light back in, to darken this side of the face and then have the rim light coming from there. You know, there you go. Let's see how it looks like this. Like I've said at the beginning, it's an experiment. That's what we're doing today. We're just experimenting. And hopefully something good will come of it. Just have a quick look at that. It's made it a bit darker, but because there's not a grid on this softbox, there is light just still spilling all over the place in this studio. So I'm now going to change this softbox for one that I pre-made earlier with a grid on it, and it's a bit thinner as well, which is going to channel the light more and just see if I can get an even darker shadow over that side. So let's do that now. So you can instantly see that it's darker around that side. We've got a more dramatic type lighting, which I like. And look, you can just see if I turn this that way or that way, we can get even more dramatic lighting. There is no light being reflected back because of the black reflector. I've left this here though, because we've got a hat on, okay? And also we don't want really dark shadows under the cheeks and that. So there's a bit of a bounce there, which is cool. Now, because I've changed the lighting setup, you really should do another exposure test. And the reality is, if you're working, you just carry on. But I am going to do it properly because this is a YouTube video and hopefully you're learning from it, all right? So here we go. It's still telling me 5.6, which is great. Camera settings stay exactly the same. Let's take some pictures. Very good. So it's not much of a difference, but it is a difference. So we've got a darker side to Rosie's face now. And we've got a hair light over there, which is looking really cool. I'm just gonna switch it off try again. Then it might be the atmosphere in a can time, right? And that's where it gets fun. So them ones are without the hair light, or rim light, whatever you want to call it. I mean, if you want to get technical, a rim light is right behind and it sort of gives a rim around the body. A hair light is where it lights the hair, but obviously we could call it a hat light maybe, I suppose, but I would call it a hair light if you didn't have a hat on basically. But anyway, we've turned that off. Looks good. I prefer it with the hair light. And do you know what? I think that we are ready for the smoke in a can, or atmosphere in a can, all right? Now you have to wait till the end of the shoot for this one because it's gonna go everywhere. We need to basically spray the atmosphere in a can behind Rosie and then add a light behind that, so as it goes off, it shines through the smoke and we get kind of like this atmospheric look, all right? So I've got to set that up. I'm ready and waiting. Rosie's ready. My assistant over there is ready with the smoke. Let's get spraying. Okay, here we go. Good. Let's have a quick look at them. Yeah. Okay, so we've definitely got some atmosphere going on there in the background. It's giving a nice texture. Right, this is cool, but we actually need that light to be higher. Move this to just, I reckon it needs to be about here. And then we're gonna go nuts with the smoke and we're gonna, well, see what happens, all right? So let's do that. So we've got one more crack at this, all right? I think a bit more smoke and I'm just gonna go, just take a million shots. You just keep posing, smiling, looking, you know the thing by now, and let's just go for it, all right? Okay, here we go. That is very good indeed. Bit of smoke in the background. So we have now got lots of smoke in the office for a start. Lots of pictures to choose from. And I'll tell you what we're gonna do. We are gonna switch the lights on, get the smoke out, and I'm gonna come back to you in a sec. So overlaying your screen now is our hero shot. And if you want to see that 6 foot tall, come and see us at the photography show where it's going to be printed in our stand. It's going to be massive. The other thing that you can do at the photography show, if you come and see us, is win £3 worth of photography equipment, including this lovely little XT-50 with the 16-50 f2.8 lens. And I've used it today. You see me use it today. It is superb. And the raw files, I've just checked the raw files, the quality is unbelievable. So you can win this camera, you can win a Manfrotto tripod, a low pro camera bag, Lee filters kit, and we've got lots of other accessories for you to win. All you need to do is come and see us at the photography show. I'll put the details for that in the description of this video. Lastly, I want to thank Rosie once again for being our model. She is great. And tell us what you think of our hero image. I wanted an image that could be printed 6 foot tall, like I just said. So firstly, you've got to get the quality of the camera, which I have. It will print that size with ease. Secondly, I wanted it to be timeless. So we went for that vintage look. I wanted it to look photography straight away. So anyone that's into photography, it would catch their eye. And I wanted it to be part of the School of Photography, which is why I use Rosie, because she's in our book, she's in our studio lighting course, and if people have been following us, they would have seen her before, so that might catch people's eyes as well. Very interested to know what you think. Put it in the comments. Don't forget to like this video, please. Follow us, share it with your friends. We cannot bring you this stuff if you don't engage with this video. And engaging is quite simply pressing that like button, sharing it, commenting, subscribing, and all of them things. Thanks for watching, and remember, if you want to learn photography properly, come over and see us at theschoolofphotography.com.